Operation hii inafanywa na kina nani? Sababu jana tumeelezwa kuwa kuna kampuni ya kujitegemea ambayo itakuwa inafanya operation kutoka Afrika Kusini, lakini hadi leo hatujaona kampuni yote kutoka Afrika Kusini.
Kwa Kiswahili nataka kuwajulisha kwamba tulianzia hii kazi ya rescue jana. Kufikia jana tuliweza kulocate sehemu mbili ambazo zina uwezekano kuwa hii gari liko. Moja ikiwa futi 75, nyingine ikiwa futi 173. Kulingana na hali hiyo tulikuwa tumeweza kuassign na kukubaliana watu wa Navy wachukue ile sehemu ya 75 na nyingine kampuni ambayo inaitwa Subsea ambao ina associates na watu wa kutoka South Africa. Kulingana na taratibu ambazo tumeziangalia, kwa sababu ya wakati na kuechelea kupoteza wakati, tumeweza kutumia resources ambazo ziko. For now hatuwezi kuitisha watu wa South Africa kama tutaweza kumaliza hii kazi kwa wakati mchache unaofaa. Kwa hivyo watu wa South Africa tumeweka standby because hiyo ni process ambayo itatudileisha, itachukua muda mrefu zaidi, na tutaki kuchukua muda mrefu kulingana na hali ambavyo ilivyo kwa wakati huu.
Kama shirika la feri, labda mnasaidia kivipi? Sababu tumeelezwa kuwa ni familia ndio inawalipa wale ambao wanaenda kutafuta mili hii au kuopoa.
Kulingana na program ambayo tuko nayo, hatuzungumzii program ya familia. Na sote tuko hapa, tunaona familia wameleta mtu wao ambaye anafanya kazi hiyo. Sisi tuna kama multi agency team, tuko hapa kama Kenya Ferry, tuko hapa kama KPA, tuko hapa kama Kenya Navy, na hiyo ndio ni timu ambayo ina lead process ikiongozwa na Kenya Navy. Kwa hivyo hatuwezi kuwakataza familia kuleta usaidizi wowote, lakini kwa ile hali ambayo tunajua na ambayo sasa inafanya kazi na operation ya kulocate, operation ya kudive, hiyo yote inasimamiwa na the multi agency team ambayo inaongezwa na Kenya Navy.
Labda swali langu la mwisho, mmejipanga vipi kwa majanga haya? Sababu pia hadi sasa shirika la feri halina hata ambulance ya kuweza kupeleka mtu ambaye ataumia.
Kwa majanga haya nikirekebisha tu kidogo, kama Kenya Ferry partner na watu wa Red Cross, tumewapatia sehemu hapa na kutoka jana wako hapa. Tuko na MOU na wao ndio tunashirikiana na wao na issues za emergency na issues kama hizi. Kwa hivyo sio lazima Kenya Ferry iwe na ambulance yake. Kitu muhimu ni kushirikiana na wale ambao ni expert katika kazi hii na kuhakikisha kama kazi inafanyika. Kwa upande wa usoni, kitu cha mwanzo ambacho tunazingatia sana ni kujaribu kuhamasisha wananchi. Usalama unaanzia na mwananchi, maana mwananchi ndiye ambaye anatumia hivi vyombo hapa. Kwa hivyo tutaongeza zaidi nguvu za kuweza kuelimisha wananchi taratibu za utumizi wa feri, na baadaye tutaanzisha tena taratibu za kuenforce ili wale ambao wataweza kutofuata sheria zile ambazo ziko tuweze kuchukua hatua ambazo zina stahili. Pia kwa upande mwingine kuna taratibu za kurekebisha hizi vyombo. Tunaziona vyombo kama kina MV Nyayo ni vyombo ambavyo ni vya zamani sana. So kwa wakati mfupi tuna program ya kurekebisha hizi vyombo, lakini kulingana na taratibu ambazo tuko nazo kikamilifu ni kuzireplace na feri nyingine ambazo zitaweza kutoa huduma bora zaidi. Na ikifikia mwezi wa Januari, Mungu akipenda, hapo ndo tunatarajia feri moja ambayo itatujoin, na hiyo itatupatia afueni kubwa kudhibiti haya maneno. Kwa hivyo hakuna njia moja pekee ambayo tunazingatia ku prevent. Kitu muhimu sana ni kuprevent, hiyo ndio ni kitu muhimu, na tunataka kutumia kila ina njia kuhakikisha kama as much as possible tuna mitigate na kuondoa balaa kama hizi ambazo tumezishuhudia kwa wakati huu.
Well, that has been the MD for Kenya Ferry Services, that is Bakari Goa, who's been saying rescue operations is still ongoing, being conducted by the Kenya Navy. This is after a car plunged from the ferry into the Indian Ocean, claiming 2 lives. We'll be giving you details of that later on in our broadcast. Now, to stories making the day in the world of business. Now, Kenya Airports Authority Board Director has appointed Gitari, the current General Manager of Finance, as the acting Managing Director and CEO effective 1st October 2019. Gitari is said to have a wealth of experience, which covers a broad range of functions, including development, banking, accounting and financial management, treasury management, resource mobilization, among others. The recruitment process for the new managing director has seen Gitaru take over the mantle from Jonny Andersen. Now, months after Trade and Cooperative Cabinet Secretary Peter Munya deregistered Kenya Planters Cooperatives Union, Munya has announced that the government is addressing challenges facing the company with the plan to roll out new strategies to revive the debt-trapped company. The CS indicated that a forensic audit will guide his next steps in the bid to revive the union. Let's listen in.
KPCU. And I want to assure you that the government is determined, and the leadership of the president and my leadership of this ministry, to make sure that these institutions don't collapse. So let us not be pessimistic. They will not collapse. We want to make it stand properly and heal its legs and limbs so that instead of limping, it can run. So, and I'm giving you my assurance that it will not go the Uchumi way.
Now, the tendering process for the multi-million Lanet Airport in Nakuru is expected to be carried out by the end of the month, paving way for the first phase. The design works for the over 450 million project are at an advanced stage, with plans to construct the aviation school and a servicing bay for airplanes on the 700 acres. Sarah Adam with this report.
According to Nakuru Governor Lee Kinyanjui, they were working closely with the national government in the capital project, which is expected to propel the air transport industry.
We also have provision to do a phase 2 that would go up to 3.1 kilometers so that we can be able to get the jet category and the others.
Speaking at the annual Kenya Association of Travel Agency Convention in Naivasha, Kinyanjui said that the first phase would include construction of a 1.7-kilometer runway. Addressing the delegates, the governor called for a change in the constitution so as to address the impasse and tension created by elections. He noted that every electioneering year, the economy of the country and mainly the number of tourists went down to the fear created by campaigns and negative reporting.
I think we must have a radical way of changing how things are running here, because if you look at countries like Egypt, despite coups and instability and all the problems that they have had, their numbers have remained high.
During the convention, the governor challenged the travel agency to up their game, noting that the country has untapped potential in the tourism sector.
So we would want to be able to attract boat owners, luxury boats that can take you around. It's a safe place. There are water sports, water activities that we can be able to work on. So currently we have about 300 million that has been set for purposes of developing this site.
Kinyanjui further added that plans were underway to construct a waterfront in Lake Naivasha, noting that this would be used to woo more visitors. Sarah Adam, K24 for Inside Business.
Now, governors will have to get the Treasury's approval 10 months before introducing new taxes or waiving existing ones if a government bill that seeks to lower the cost of doing business in devolved units is passed into law. Now, counties will be required to submit proposed changes 10 months before commencement of the financial year in which they intend to introduce the levies, vary existing ones, or waiver charges and accrued interest. Those that fail to comply will be severely Treasury Limited in their quest to collect taxes in an environment where many are perennially falling short of target. The proposed law is aimed at curbing taxes that could undermine the national economic policies. Now to the tea subsector. The future of tea industry in Kirinyaga County is on the blink following massive uprooting of tea bushes by farmers in protest over poor bonuses payout. The farmers have now refocused their sight to more productive sectors like dairy, horticulture, farming, with some planting avocados and macadamia instead of the traditional tea crop. Sarah Adam tells us more.
Farmers have lost confidence with the tea sector since the industry is going from bad to worse, with their income dwindling every day. According to Kennedy Munene Njeru, many farmers are now uprooting their tea after being frustrated by this year's bonus. Tea factories announced an average of 30 bonus, which is too little compared to workload associated with tea farming. Since the bonus was announced, farmers have really been demoralized. They can't even be able to pay fees for their children. The payments have, however, not been good due to the slump in tea prices to their lowest in the last 5 years, with preliminary reports indicating it's likely to drop by 30%. The highest bonus was, however, in 2016, where farmers earned a record of 61.99 billion, the highest in 5 years, getting up to 70 shillings per kilo. At least 615,000 smallholder farmers have received their bonus this year. Sarah Adam, K24 for Inside Business.
Now, our studio discussion today is involving the digital lending sector, and we'll be looking at various things that have been happening in the sector in the last couple of years before an expert comes in studio and tells us more about what is happening actually in the sector. And if we can just share some statistics that we have seen from the financial services sector, we can know more about what is happening in the industry, as well as before the expert, that is Peter Masharia from Gitari Credit, who's going to share with us more about the sector. Now, this is a survey done by the Financial Sector Deepening Company, and it says that 35% are digital borrowers, that is mobile phone owners, and also 1 in 8 have defaulted on a digital loan, and third is that 47% report paying late. Coming to the fifth one, 35% report taking out loans for ordinary household needs. Well, 37% report taking out loans for businesses purposes, and this will be more expanded by the expert in studio. And 3% of this use actually these loans for betting. Now to the last one, 1 in 6 Kenyans take loan to repay another. This is something very shocking, and even with the rollout of some of the regulations to ensure that this sector is brought back to sanity. Something else that's happening is it's easy to obtain and short-term, but carry a high interest rate. This is the digital mobile loans that are offering the loans. And the last one is that fees charged generally range between 6 and 20%, and this is on mobile loans. And in studio with me actually is Peter Masharia, who is the CEO of Gitari Credit, just to expound more on what you have seen, all the statistics that we have seen there. And welcome to our studios.
Thank you, Carol.
Looking at all that, what can you say about the sector? What is the status update, even with the new regulations that the central bank governor is trying to ensure that this sector is actually regulated?
Well, from your wall there, it shows the sector is vibrant. And most of the traditional lenders are willing to leverage on the new technology. And it's something that we can't wish away.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you think self-regulation is key to digital lenders?
It's key, because ideally CBK is not able to come in and regulate them fully, because they don't give them finances. But as a lenders association, digital lenders association, which is already formed, it's an organization that's helping the digital lenders to regulate themselves control quirks, and reduce exorbitant rates.
Okay.
Yes.
In the last few years, we have seen potential misuse of these digital loans coupled with extensive negative reporting of borrowers. Maybe you can share with us how big a concern is this not only to you or even companies who are loaning out these loans?
Well, the concern is there because the challenge with digital lending is that it's not, it's something that you can borrow anytime, anywhere, and on the go. And basically what it means is that someone can borrow to go and bet, as opposed to a situation whereby you walk to a bank and once you give the reason for the borrowing, if you say it's betting, it will be declined. Because morally, as a lender or as a financial institution, you're not supposed to lend for betting or for illegal activities. So the risk is there and the exposure is there, but it calls for a lot of knowledge and information to the would-be potential borrowers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even though you have said that self-regulation is key to digital lenders, are you satisfied with the current maybe laws and regulations that are governing the sector?
Yes, I'm fully satisfied because the current laws are they're also encouraging the SMEs to grow and also the economy to grow. As if from the statistics that were released yesterday by CBK, the inflation rate has gone down. One of the reasons that is helping to manage the inflation rate is easy access to funds, because it creates more spread of, it helps funds and cash to flow within the entire economy, either in Wajir, in the CBD, Nairobi, and anywhere else where the economy is not controlled. There's money permits and flows freely.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, given the first phase of the growth of this sector in the last 5 years, where do you see the sector going in the last, let's say, like the next 5 years?
Digital lending space is set to grow because the advantages are more on to the digital lenders as opposed to the traditional lending methods, because digital lending, the operational costs are very low. If you compare the traditional lending, where you open, where you do the brick and mortar kind of banking, you have to pay rent, you have to pay staff, you have to pay operational costs like electricity, telephones, and all those other overheads, as opposed to digital lending, which has almost zero costs, operational costs.
Okay.
Yes.
So from where you sit, where do you see the future of the logbook, maybe loans?
Well, loans are there to stay because it's something that started even when, even before Christ, people were borrowing. So it's something that can never be wished away. It just needs to have an enabling environment. And I can congratulate the CBK governor for managing and maintaining an excellent monetary policy within the country.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have seen the growth of this sector, and we have seen like over 50 digital lenders actually. And we saw the formation of the DLAC, that's Digital Lenders Association, but only right now has 12 digital lenders, meaning there are, let's say, like 40 more out there. What would you say about this situation? Do you see the rest of the digital lenders coming into this association, maybe to ensure that self-regulation is something that they can take up?
That one, definitely they'll have to come on board. Because after the Digital Lenders Association was formed around 2 or 3 months ago, the other non-members have been requested to join. It helps. You see, when people are in one association together as one, it creates a very strong financial setup or sector, as opposed to when everybody is scattered all over the country.
Okay. So what are some of the challenges, maybe as we come to a close, that you feel that digital lenders need to address, or as an association, as well as companies in the business of lending, maybe against logbooks?
The biggest challenge digital lenders association or members need to do is to train, because there are so many unbanked Kenyans out there who have mobile phones. But they don't seem to understand that once you borrow any money, it must be repaid back. They also don't seem to understand the terms and conditions of borrowing and the consequences of failure to pay a loan. So there's need for more funds to be set aside for education, for knowledge, and that knowledge should go wherever there's a mobile network.
Okay, yes. And the last one, when you look at the proposals or even the amendment to the capping law, we have seen it before President Uhuru Kenyatta awaiting signing in. Do you believe it will in any way have a significant impact to the digital lending now that they have actually amended the law?
Well, it might have a slight impact because the beauty of that law is that the interest rates have been maintained, which means people will prefer to borrow from commercial banks as opposed to the more expensive platforms like the digital lending platform. But the digital lending platform, because of its convenience and easy processes of borrowing and the speed, the turnaround time, majority of Kenyans might still opt to go that direction, even in spite of the high loans.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing with us your insights. That has been Peter Macharia, who is the CEO of Gitari, talking about the growth of the digital lending sector and seeing that it has potential for growth in the next 5 years. Now we look at how the shilling as well as other shares at the stock market has been performing, or rather at the NSE, and we'll be looking at the top gainers and also the top losers for the better part of the morning. Now we'll look at the top gainers, where we'll see that Liberty Kenya topped with trading at 9.72. That is the market share price, and that is a 9.95% change. Umeme came in second. The market share price of Umeme is 7.08. That is 6.63% change. And EAPCC, that is East African Portland Cement, share price was 18.50. That is a 5.71% change. Now we look at the top losers, where we'll see some of the areas that has been happening in the NSE. We see TPS Eastern, that is the share market price was 19.25. That is negative 8.77% change. Scan Group, a 12.35 market share price, that is negative 7.14, and CIC Insurance is at 3.07 market share price, and that is negative 6.97. Now that is how the NSE has been trading. We just looked at the top 3 gainers and the top 3 losers, and that is how we wrap up Inside Business for today. Join me in the evening as I bring you up to date with the latest in the world of business. And remember, tonight is a business-focused bulletin where we'll be looking at some of the issues, how you can balance